Good morning. This is a overview of the current website and our current strategy. Basically, I set this up just as a descriptive. We can keep the wording, we can change it, but I think this is kind of the direction we're trying to go in terms of articulating. Below here, we have the two buttons. The idea here was thinking of possibly setting it up to where people can join or subscribe and then getting newsletters or something like that. And then learning more can take them into other content. But for the most part, these aren't really developed yet. Not sure where we want to go. But what I do know we want to do is we want to go ahead and add some flavor to the front page. So for starters, went ahead and added a spot here that basically will lead to your blog. So each one of these stories will read more and that'll enter into the blog. The idea is when the user comes through, if they don't really go to any of the functions here in the front, then what's going to happen is they'll move down, hopefully, and they'll start to read. This area here, the blog, really represents our personality. And given that we're moving more towards digital interactions, we have to try to create the same thing online. So the idea here is to move the reader down to this point and see if there's anything of interest to them. If they go and find something great, that would pull them into our blog, and then the blog basically will be a wide variety of information. So we'll go ahead and move over to the blog. And the idea here with this area here going into blog, as I said, is to reflect your personality. So as we move into the blog is going to serve a couple purposes. One purpose will be content marketing. We can take all of these articles that we're moving through our curated content application, and we can go ahead and use these to post to our social media networks, and we can use hashtags and so on and so forth to be able to get the word out. This might be one way of generating leads. The idea is that you're going to hopefully get folks either by other means to the front door of your website, or they'll eventually go through an article that they read and eventually link back to the website. But this is basically our phase one. We're looking at our content marketing plan. Now, of course, this is an early stage of development of the blog. We're going to start to do more. We'll have it completely full of content, and also we'll be able to actually take and cross-market other products here through banners. There's plenty of sections with the banner advertising as well. But this kind of gets us started on that. We can go ahead and head back home, and this will take us back here to the front page. And then just while we do development on the side, I went ahead and put just a kind of incognito menu bar here that can bring you over to the first projects that we're working on. So we'll go ahead and give a status here on Echo Proven. Okay, Echo Proven. So right now I'm kind of in the middle of figuring out how to market this. I know they have a page that's well articulated. So I'm thinking, given that they already have a well-articulated page, we can go more towards a theme. So I'm thinking possibly of entertaining the idea of creating a theme here to where we can market as being very clean. And I think this idea came to me as we were talking about the application of using one of the products on aircraft carriers and how the actual residues come off the sides of the ship and go into the ocean. So there may be some traction there in terms of maybe marketing it also as just a really clean way to do things. And then as we move on, there still needs to be content as well as some other things here, so on and so forth. And we'll use this campaign piece as a way to be able to cross market as well. And then we'll head back here to PEP Associates. Each one has a logo there. And then let's go ahead and head over to Improve real quick. All right, here we go. There we are. Okay, so this is Improve. I kind of am going to rebrand this a little bit. Haven't figured out where to go, but the coloring I think we're going to kind of go with. But I think the idea with Improve is that we did the other piece in the original marketing where it was kind of the sustainability, clean look. But I think we also need to possibly entertain the idea of bringing it into a more industrial kind of branding as well, where it looks more like the auto market. and the oil market and so on and so forth. So I'm thinking that we could possibly try to brand it this way. And once again, the idea about having these internal landing pages that are stopping points prior to getting to the actual original web page is to be able to kind of create sub-campaigns underneath. And then I think the next one we have here is Echo Fuel Saver, which is basically our last of the three projects to develop. So right now we're just kind of back here on that. So that will be the third project going into it, but for the most part, I did want to give you a heads up and kind of where we're at. I think we're moving forward now, and I think once we get the blog, we can actually start moving into content marketing. I would suggest that or I would say this much, is that we have the capacity to be able to represent hundreds of different products. So, that might want to be in the back of one's mind as we develop further, is to just be able to get a business directory of a bunch of business people who want to be part of our collective. So those are some basic ideas. Of course, nothing's written in stone, but I just definitely want to be able to illustrate where we're at in this process.